Are we recording?
I think so. We ready? Just when you thought we were done, right? This is an emergency recording. George, don't laugh. This is a very serious subject. I was meditating before we... How do I turn this off? There we go. Welcome in. Eddie Radosevich, George Stoia, Soonerscoop.com studios here on Campus Corner. It's a little bit of an emergency here in Norman as we're under attack. Yeah, we're under attack here in Norman. People from the West Coast, I think you know why we're here. You're getting a kick out of this, aren't you? Yeah. You're getting a real kick out of it.
I'm going to start crying.
The Norman community is under attack, George. You're going to have to get it together. You think it's funny?
Yeah. All right.
I mean, we're being attacked by sick people, really, truly. No. Welcome in. We're here. We're back. A little bit of a surprise emergency episode here on the Soonerscoop.com YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed. I don't know. You'll probably unsubscribe after this. Or maybe, I know that the comment section...
I think this is going to be our most watched episode.
The comment sections from Los Angeles are going to be really good because TBOW, the bitch out west, it's back. Yeah, the nickname's back because he brought it back into our lives. We thought we were done with Lincoln Riley in a Graham Bensinger interview that was recorded in June, actually. It dropped today, and Lincoln Riley has Norman community's name back in his mouth. George, you actually did some reporting on this.
Do we want to roll the clip first?
Let's do that. Let's roll the clip. This is the reason that we're here today.
Your house.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah, I had multiple. They had a lot of different people trying to break into the house the days after it happened. And 95% of the fans and people out there at Oklahoma or anybody else are great. But you typically always have that percentage that at times take it too far. Obviously, this was one of those instances.
I heard you got packages and then they got your 9-year-old's number. What was the scariest part for you?
Yeah, just my family's safety. I didn't care about the house. I didn't care about anything else, just their safety. And we thought we were because we wanted the girls to be able to finish out school because the semester was almost over. And as that stuff transpired, we said, no, we got to get them the hell out of here as fast as we can.
I know that there are some very serious accusations, and I think that's one of the reasons that we're here, because you actually did a little bit of reporting on this. And no, we don't have anything else better to do than contact the Norman Police Department. George, what did you find?
Yeah, so there is no official police report. Big difference between a police and incident report. There is an incident report for December 17th and December 19th. So about 3 weeks after Lincoln Riley left, which was November 28th. We know, Eddie, that he was still sort of moving out of his home here in Norman. And so it's very likely that he was there during this time, or him or his family or somebody was there. And we found that they had called on December 17th and December 19th reporting suspicious activity and calling for an extra patrol. And so that's it. And I asked for the report from if there was anything from November 28th till the end of December. We know that they were out of there. I believe you said early January.
Sure.
So that's what we found. Look, do we know if any, that's a pretty heavy accusation to say somebody was trying to break into your home. It doesn't sound like if that had happened, if somebody had actually done any damage to his home or tried to do that, there would be a police report.
In a gated community, by the way.
Exactly. I know that one of the reports, or the incident report, said that they saw a black Escalade continue to drive by, and that's why they called. Whatever.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of black X. Here's the deal. Was there a lot of anger in Norman at the time? Obviously. And I think the one thing that Lincoln Riley has never understood, and maybe he does and just doesn't want to admit it publicly, is the way that everything went down. Yeah. I was there at the press conference after the Oklahoma State game. He was asked by Kerry Murdoch if he was going to be the head coach at LSU because everything leading up to that week was basically, he's headed to Baton Rouge. All these people, and that was one of the crazier times on the beat. He cut him off. He controlled the narrative, all that kind of stuff. And then to call the team meeting on Sunday afternoon, give the players basically 5 minutes, which you can see the interview of a player that was in the meeting with Lincoln Riley that kind of detailed everything with the Isaiah Thomas show that he did with Kerry Murdoch back then. It was always about how he left. There was always going to be anger about how that all went down, how it all transpired. And it's just like he tries to look over that. And I get it. Like, if you wanted to go be the head coach at USC, Lincoln, you could have. And you did. I don't think that anybody, like, there's going to be people that were going to be mad about it. People are mad OU won by 17 last week. They're the same, probably the same folks. Was there ever any really true threats to his life, though? I mean, we're starting to talk about some rather serious accusations.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure that there were a lot of people that were mad at him and probably sent him some nasty messages.
To be sure, there were 100%.
I mean, maybe from Eddie himself. Who knows?
I didn't do that.
But I mean, obviously that happened. But some of these accusations, I find them hard to believe. But we'll see. I mean, look, we did the reporting. If there was something that serious happened, there would have been an actual police report. I talked to Norman PD. They said, this was all we had from those dates is, they had called about suspicious activity, found nothing going on at the home. So other than that, I don't know, talking about his kids, I think I looked it up. Norman Public Schools were out December 17th, which is when one of the calls came. So kind of lines up there if we're looking at dates and those sorts of things. And he mentioned, that pull their kids out of school or whatever.
But I know that Caitlin had told people that she was scared about the situation, and rightfully so, because there was so much
and
anger.
There's crazy people
and
out
there.
there.
Are crazy people. Like, I'm not defending anybody's actions, but to act like the family was under some type of siege from the Norman community, it's insane. It's clinically insane. And I don't know. It's just the whole thing. It's funny that it comes up now as we head into week 3 of the football season, that, all of a sudden this interview from way back in June comes out. I was told that that's about it in what he talks about with Oklahoma. There is some other tidbits that are going to come out and circulate throughout the rest of the week that should be interesting. I really don't know what that kind of stuff is, but I don't know. It just seems like it's just an awkward time to be bringing this stuff back up. I thought everybody had moved on.
Well, and what's funny is everybody, OU fans have caught, a lot of crap for constantly talking about.
And I think that Oklahoma fans have brought a lot on themselves.
100%.
Sure.
But like when this comes out, it's like, really? Like,
Well, it makes it seem like an entire community was getting ready to attack a family home.
Yeah, and that's the part that I think OU fans are most frustrated with. And then, they're now super excited that I had found that there seemed to be a whole lot of nothing to this. But everybody's saying he's a pathological liar, which do I think Lincoln is a liar? I'm not going to say that, but I do think he likes to maybe exaggerate the truth a little bit.
He knows how to play to the crowd a little bit.
Honestly,
he's in Hollywood. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's very similar. I think this whole, people were trying to break into my home is the same kind of thing when he told Kerry, I'm not going to be the head coach at LSU. It's not wrong, but it's also not completely true either,
It's crazy that it comes back up. I knew that we had to get back onto the YouTube channel to be able to talk about what you had found. I mean, because honestly, there is very serious accusations, and I think that it's one of those things that you just want to be able to clear up for the community, because it makes a lot of people that are really good people look really, really bad.
Yeah, and that was kind of my third. I mean, when we first saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is."
We might as well.
Yeah, and I was like, "Well, I can call up Norman PD, and at least and you tracked down the address. We found the address of his home, and then I called him up, and it was funny.
Well, I already had it when I was driving or buying a black Escalade way back when.
Yeah, exactly. But I called him, and it was funny. I was talking to the public information officer, and before I could even, I told her who I was, and before I could even ask what I was looking for, she was like, "Are you calling about Lincoln Riley's Riley's home?"
Yes, I am.
And I was like, "I am." And she's like, "Well, what dates are you looking for?" And so I told her, and she was like, "Well, this is what we have." And so she'd already known. And I know there's been other news outlets now reaching out for the same incident reports that I was able to obtain. But it's just one of those things, man. It's never going to go away with Lincoln. I think, there's always, no matter what happens. And
especially with this type of inflammatory.
Right. I mean, it's
jargon or vernacular, whatever you want to call it. Like, it kind of refuels the fire, doesn't it? Because I remember all the way back to the day everything went down and, being done with the Bedlam season. You said that you were getting ready to start
I was in
Broncos.
Denver. The Broncos were literally kicking off a game in Denver when the news broke. I think it was Bruce Feldman that broke the news, and I was like, this is crazy, because it was just the day after Bedlam, and I remember him telling Kerry, I'm not going to be the head coach at LSU. So I was like, okay, that's that, and then that happened. So it was crazy. I remember. I don't know what you were doing, but
I was getting ready. We were actually going to do the post-game pod that day down here in Normal. It was going to be like a season wrap-up type deal. And, lo and behold, I ended up beating Jason Kersey and Ryan Aber down in the Oklahoma parking lot, like out in front of the Switzer Center, as players started circulating out of the meeting.
And then didn't you see him as he left the next morning?
Well, we went to the place that they flew out of, and we met him up there in the early hours of the morning on that Monday. And Alex Grinch was the first person to show up, and we always liked Alex Grinch, still like Alex Grinch, like betting against his defense. No offense, Alex, but it was love the over this weekend, by the way, against Arizona State. If I think he tipped him off because you usually get out in front of the airport or whatever it's called, and he ended up driving into the back. So I think that Alex tipped him off, which we still haven't forgiven you for that, but we do wish you the best. Here is the incident report that George was able to tabulate from the Norman Police Department. There were two incident.
Yes.
What is the
incident report?
Incident reports.
December 17th and the December 19th. I think both of them have now both been shared on the screen. But I think one was a call for an extra patrol car.
Sure.
And then the other one was just suspicious activity with a black Escalade driving by their house. So,
but you listen to the Graham Bensinger clip that we just played, and it makes it seem like somebody was trying to break into the home, like somebody was trying to get through the gates and really truly harm the family, which would have been
if that
obviously
happened,
unacceptable and just honestly disgusting.
And if that had happened, there would have been a full police report out there. And I checked with OUPD. I've not heard back from them. But this is their home. The address is a Norman jurisdiction home. So it would be from the Norman police, but there would be a physical, actual police report if something like what you're describing were to happen.
And listen, I get it. Like, I'm definitely not going to bring up the kids in this situation, but like the 9-year-old thing, if that happened, that would obviously be disgusting.
Yeah.
Although the 9-year-old demographics on the message boards, they're brutal. They're brutal people. I can tell you that right now.
Also, I'm surprised a 9-year-old has a phone, but I guess that's the
little parenting advice from a single
I don't know. I mean, I didn't get one until I was 13.
Nokia?
So I guess
little snake phone?
It was a just a little.
Did you ever play
flip.
Snake?
I did, yeah.
The other, I was very, very good at it. I also told George the other day I'd be a better basketball shooter than he is. That's other false. Thing that really caught my attention in this Graham Bensinger interview, which you
this might actually be the bigger lie
YouTube thing, and I think it is quote, one of the things I told the players when I stood up there is, I think every one of you should stay here and do it. We should keep a lot of players there that are still there, basically saying that he never recruited anybody. I think number 13 that won the Heisman Trophy last year would say differently. And I think that also, like, looking back on it, I don't know how you felt at the time being in Denver. If we all put heart of hearts together, like, he was never going to come back to Oklahoma.
No.
And I don't want it. We don't have to rehash it. But
no, and I think, whether he said that or not, I don't know. We've all heard. I mean, Isaiah Thomas on your guys' show, it didn't sound like that was exactly what was said.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, when coaches leave and players follow him, that's going to happen. Yeah. Just like if Brent Venables were to leave tomorrow, there would be a lot of guys that would follow him to wherever he goes, even if he's like, hey, you should stay. Like, that's the nature of the sport and whatever. I mean, I just find it interesting that Lincoln is still talking about this stuff, and maybe it's whatever whoever interviewed him brought it up. But
granted, it was recorded in June. I'm not here to defend him. I know the comment section is going to be even more interesting.
It's interesting why it was released now.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that,
but I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. Quote: behind the scenes, people probably wouldn't believe it now. We helped keep a lot of players there that are still there. I don't think that there's too many players still around. He continued on, but if you have a player that you recruited, knew their family you've been in there with, and he says, Coach, I want to go with you. Do you say no? Do you say you were good enough to come with me to this place, but I won't take you here? It's not easy, end quote. So I find a little bit of humor in the whole situation. Yeah. I know that it tugs at the heartstrings of a lot of people, especially around Norman. But it was good to find out that it doesn't seem, at least on record, any serious incidents.
Correct. Yeah. I fully believe that. I mean, again, if there was something that seriously happened that was concerning, the police would have been involved. There would have been an actual police report. So I don't know what to tell you. I mean, maybe more PD was involved. I don't think so. But again, it's one of those things, man. It's
beautiful. It's disgusting.
It's bewildering,
but beautiful. You know what it is? It's college football, is what it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
That's why we love it.
It is. We will be back on the Soonerscoop.com YouTube channel Thursday, catching up with Kaden McFarland from KJRH in Tulsa, previewing Oklahoma's upcoming game, Week 3, as they head to Chapman Stadium, 2:30 ESPN 2. This guy, he's Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley, and I had just wished him a happy birthday. I take it back, but I just wished him a happy birthday, and he treats us like this.
Maybe he'll call me again. Remember, he called me back in April. Remember that?
We should call him right now.
Well, I don't have his phone number.
YouTube
He was
show.
on a star 67 or whatever. No caller ID.
I guess there's only one thing left to do, and that's
I think we need to go to LA.
We got to go to LA. All right. We will have the Soonerscoop.com OU Tulsa preview coming up on Thursday. Until then, let's just stay right here. See ya.